going through, yeah, it maybe adds 15 seconds or so. All right, here we go.
Uncle feels like we've done this before many, many thousands of times.
No sword. Uncle walked away without a sword. So we know we're not getting that. We got bombos as the first item, though, which, you know, that could be useful. That could be our access in the Ice Palace. So we're just syncing up the runners here. No problem, but we'll see what Uncle drops in about, 15 seconds.
I'm not sure how I would feel about bombos. It definitely, if you're able to pick up some magic, makes certain rooms easier to clear. I can see, mini Moldorm cave without a sword being made a lot easier. But
yeah, that's a neat location for it.
If that means that the logic doesn't give you fire rod for a really long time, tough.
Look at this. This is free. Hammer. Oh my gosh, that excuse me. That has to unlock most of the item locations. Hammer is such a big deal once you get to Dark World, and our runners got it.
Absolutely. The sheer fact that it's 100% required, and I haven't done the math, but I think it probably unlocks over 100 items total in the game.
Feels like it, certainly, with how much is locked behind. I mean, you have to think about how many items are in Ganon's Tower itself, and Ganon's Tower is technically locked behind Hammer because there's so many dungeons that require it.
Absolutely. If you include, all of Turtle Rock, all of GT, all the other overworld spots, I think it's definitely over 50 items. But that gives them essentially a tempered sword with a really, really lousy hitbox.
Right. We're going to see a bunch of farming right now as our runners try to look for maybe at least one bomb drop just for that back of escape section. You really don't want to have to come through and double dip this without a glove. Like, there's no guarantee our runners will get a glove before they have to come back. So ideally, you get a bomb somewhere along this path.
That's a good point. I think if you end up picking up the glove during the escape sequence, you can probably just say, I'm not going to waste any time farming anything. I don't have to, because it's quicker to get back here. But without that glove, if there's progression back there, then you're going to have to walk all the way through the front of the castle.
So we got a hammer, but now we're just getting arrows for whatever reason. We're not getting anything else. There can be a map in one of these chests, and we know there's a small key either next to Zelda or like somewhere in the sewer. So that's it. Those two chests are all they can currently reach unless they get bombs.
Well, if we get all the 10 arrow upgrades out of the way now, that increases the chances of finding a sword when you're desperately looking for it later in the game.
I mean, we still have all these big 20s to get through.
That's a good point. And both green rubies.
So there's our small key required to continue. So as I mentioned, there's one more chest coming up. Hopefully it's not the map for our runners, but we'll see.
Yeah, neither player getting a bomb yet. It could be triple bombs in the chest. That's always a nice find.
So real quick, I'll just talk about prize packs because might as well as we watch this standard portion of the standard mode. Each enemy is in a particular prize pack. Like, they each have their own set of items that they can drop, and they're all in different prize packs. So blue knights will drop different thing than the green knights, and the snakes that we're going to see, and the mice. They're all different sets. So there's a good chance one of them, at least one of them, contains a bomb. But it could be deep in the prize pack, and we just won't see it because you have to kill so many enemies. You see ACM there killing a bunch of green guards, and it's just nothing.
Absolutely. And green guards probably are ruled out at this point, but bats, snakes, and rats are also in a different prize pack, so there's a lot more enemies they can farm. And with Hammer, you get the infinite ammo. It's much, much easier to farm than that awful Can of Burna.
So for those of you just joining us, this is the standard mode tourney, and what this means is what you're seeing here. There's about 6 minutes where our racers are going through the Rescue Zelda. This is standard. You go, you start in Link's house, you have the cutscene at the beginning, in the rain, and go rescue Zelda. Both of our runners just tried to kill the snakes. Nothing.
It looks like they're pretty synced up on prize packs, though, because they both got the full magic refill there.
Hey, maybe they can put that bombos to use too. Once they get a sword, you need a sword. This is randomizer. Oh, everything's random. It's just you have the standard start location. But you can see this farming that you're seeing our runners do. That's not typical of NMG.
Yeah, the standard mode is very popular these days. A lot of runners like the fact that you're essentially your first 6 minutes of the game are nice bomb drop.
That is an 8.
Both players.
Great. Yeah, I like that they added the different starts. Before, when it was just a guaranteed sword, it's sort of boring. Like, it's like, oh, I got a sword. Big deal. But now it's like you get 1 of 7 items. Here, they're starting with hammer. It makes it much more interesting because you still have interesting decisions to do afterwards. Do you buy bombs? Where do you go first? Do you hit up Mini Moldorm Cave with just bombs? Or, like, what do you do?
Absolutely, and that 8 bomb pack could not have come at a better time. If they had gone through those blocks, there's no way to get back. You can't push them the other way, so they are set on bombs for all of Kakariko, and maybe even into a little bit of the Sashura area. But 4 red rupees in this game.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. What the heck? Well, I think they're good for rupees, at least for the short term. You want to have about 100 to 150 rupees in Kakariko, depending on. So you need 100 for the bottle set vendor, and 50 if you decide to buy bombs. Now, given that they have hammer, they're probably not going to buy bombs, but still, you want to keep your options open. Something to think about when you happen to be playing randomizer. How many rupees you need at certain points of the game.
So both players giving us a look at the Tier 2 tree prize pool. Just 4 hearts. zer0rush also showing us the bush crab prize. No value there. zer0rush choosing to route in a check at this lumberjack location. Very good early game knowledge. It will let you know whether you absolutely have to kill Acmlm, because that location is only accessible post an Aga kill. ACM looks like he's routing. Looks like he's deciding not to route in that particular check. We'll save it for later.
Yeah, I've seen a number of racers. They decide to skip it till later, maybe after you get boots, because you can't get that item until you have boots, and of course you kill Acmlm.
Yeah, that's a common interview question, especially when there's an item there that costs runners, and typically the answer is, why bother checking it until I know I have boots, I can get it.
All right, so nothing good yet. ACM heading down to Steve's hut. 5 items here. I mean, Kakariko itself is just a wealth of items. We'll see how many big 20s we have. Oh, how about 300 at once?
Yeah, there's 30 rupees would have gotten them to bottle vendor territory, but 300 basically sets them up for quite a while.
And the bow! Oh my gosh.
And the moon pearl! Wow. Blind's Hut paying off tonight.
Wow. So
that is 2 of 3 items for Dark World access.
Right, and they can beat Eastern if they're willing to do the rooms in the dark.
Yeah, we haven't seen a map check, so we don't know whether it's pendant or crystal yet. But there's 3 locations in Eastern that they'll be able to get, as well as the 3 locations at Sashurala's hut. So routing that in a little bit earlier than later, it's something we might see.
I suspect we'll get a map check, and we just got a hook shot in the well. We're not gonna need anything at this rate. Gloves, at least.
There's the bottle.
Vanilla.
Yeah, that's convenient. You can route your sick kid check in without having to backtrack.
What's funny is if that's a magic bee, they can just sell it right back to the bottle vendor and basically get a refund for the bottle.
ECM almost getting the chicken clip. I think it gets stuck in the wall. But there we go. Good attempt. It's really nice that they found the hook shot when they did. Without boots, the hook shot is going to give you a lot of mobility options, especially with the higher tier runners that have hookshot navigation essentially committed to muscle memory at this point. It doesn't go quite as fast as the boots, but it does move you twice as fast as walking without the speed up time.
And how about a flute to complete Kakariko Village? All right, chat. You know what time it is. Oh, I think we're on zer0rush's audio, so soon you'll get...
Soon, yeah. I don't think Jet or I, neither of us are singers, so we'll opt out of this, out of any particular song here.
Nah, we'll just do our salute soon.
So we got our first map check there. Eastern was a red crystal.
Okay, well that seems like an easy call then. We have a pendant. I think it was the green pendant down at Desert. ACM doesn't even check race the game. He's going right to South Shore. With a glove there, that's our Dark World access, actually.
Yeah, and knowing what the item is on the Lumberjack ledge means we are not going to see an Agate play this seed.
Yep, Aghanim definitely not required at all. Well, I mean, we'll see Aghanim too. That's the first heart? Wow. We've gotten so many items, no heart containers.
So, as Jet mentioned earlier, they do have the ability to complete Eastern Palace now, although without the lamp, it's technically a sequence break. Normally, you can't say for certain whether a runner is going to feel comfortable with certain dark rooms, but at the 4 and O tier, and with the Eastern ones being relatively simple, you can say these runners are comfortable with it.
So there was just a boomerang in the library, so nothing major. The runners won't have to go back for there. I think it was a tunic at the race game, which... Hey, a sword! How about a sword?
Yeah, zer0rush with 3 hearts opting not to pick up the blue mail. That's a lot of confidence.
Wow, we have so many items right now. We have our Dark World access. They can go beat Eastern. They can go beat Pod. If they're okay with not having a mirror. Speaking of which, ACM, it looks like he's going to go right into Eastern. Let's see where zer0rush decides to go after he picks up his sword.
That makes a lot of sense. A lot of people would route that from Link's house and pick up the Sash items on the way, but knowing that he's going to be able to pick those up on the way out, and there's nothing that Sash can have that will help him, makes this a very efficient route for ACM.
Now, until we see the Dark World map, we're not sure what items are required, but they have a ton of items that are pretty much always required. Like, just getting Bow and Hookshot and Hammer out of the way, and Moon Pearl, of course. It's just like, we'll have to see what the map looks like, but they're in really good shape right now. They can do so much.
So the question is, after ACM completes Eastern, do you think it's likely that he heads into the Dark World or makes a Death Mountain play?
Well, I mean, Death Mountain, you do have Hookshot. It looks like zer0rush is hot on ACM's heels, heading on into Eastern as well. I don't know. It's a hard... I mean, there are benefits to a number of different... Right now, the game is actually so open to them. They can go over to Village Valcast to do some stuff there, maybe go beat Thieves if they're so inclined. They can head on over to Hype Cave. There's a bunch of items over there. They can head up to Death Mountain, as you mentioned. There's a bunch of items up there, and we can also unlock... They beat Eastern. They can also maybe beat Hera, and that's Fat Fairy. Like, there's so much.
Well, they can absolutely get to Hera, and of course, pending a fire source, most likely they can beat it. That would make their eventual pyramid route much more efficient if they are able to do all 3 items in the pyramid instead of just 1.
And we just got flippers behind Sahasrahla, so that might be required. We don't know the Dark World map, but hey, it's nice to have.
I'm not sure the Zora area is going to be super high priority. They're both
Yeah.
zer0rush has the money. ACM is pretty close, and with the flute, they can go to 8 and get there really quickly. It's not a bad time investment for 4 items, but with everything else they have open to them, it's probably not a priority.
Yeah, agreed. ACM, of course, did not go to Sahasrara yet. I suspect he'll do it after he beats this dungeon.
Yeah, ACM had no trouble with that initial dark room. Essentially just a rectangle, one of the earlier dark rooms that most runners become very comfortable with. The second one is definitely a lot more difficult without the fire rod or a lamp, but I expect ACM LM is up to the challenge.
So a neat trick that I think ACM might do is that you can put a... Well, let's see what he does before I talk about it. Okay, yeah, he's gonna put an arrow into where the Igor is. That way you can tell when it moves. Because look, you can see there, it's moving. And he was able to get it. Oh, he's down to 1 heart though. Careful. ACM might. Okay, there he goes. He got the spare heart that's in the right-hand side of the room. It's dangerous when you can't see the enemies. But he gets through there with 2 hearts to spare. Nice.
That's definitely a clutch play. I think a lot of people would have jumped out and run for the fairies, but he knew where the heart was, and he picked up 1 more, and there's 1 more under a pot here before heading up to Armos, so he's probably just perfectly fine on health.
I mean, for NMG runners, 3 hearts is plenty for this dungeon, because that's really all you get if you don't get Sanctuary Heart, so not too bad. At this point, he's through the hard part of the dungeon. zer0rush is just starting his dark rooms. We'll see what he ends up with when he gets to the back half. I think we saw all the items here. So there's only 3 items in Eastern, and no real progression, just those flippers outside.
So that's our first crystal at 16 minutes in. That's nice progression there.
zer0rush has 4.5 hearts, so something you do coming up here for this dark room, there's the pots you can fall into right outside if you need a fairy. If you go inside and you lose track of the Igor, you can leave and it will reset the room. So that's a good way of doing that. Putting an arrow into where the Igor is helps you position it. You see zer0rush doing that now. There it is. No problem. ACM just picked up his flippers.
zer0rush executed that room very nicely. Poor
Right,
ACM
where are
missed
you
his duck.
going? What are we up to next?
Double duck miss.
High-fiving the... What is going on?
I don't know what's he doing.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that happens to me every time. I don't even try to move. There's a technique to it, and I don't know what it is. I think we're getting some water stuff.
What was he trying to do there?
You can go a little faster if you're moving to the left because the duck goes off screen slightly faster, but I don't know the mechanics of it, and you can essentially high-five the duck instead. Alright, what do we got? Nothing major at the Waterfall Ferry.
That's our 9th or 10th red rupee and just 10-hour upgrades. With zer0rush finishes off his
Very
Armos
nice
fight.
kill for zer0rush.
There's a couple.
Yeah. Silver's
Silver's on the ledge. Nice.
That would have been nice before Eastern, huh?
Yeah, there are a couple really nice Armos strategies. Some of them look better than others. Both runners used the fairly standard NMG formation. Really efficient.
All right, we're getting some divergence here. It looks like zer0rush is going right for Hype Cave. So chat, get your hypes ready because we're going to go check it out.
I would love to see mitts at this point. That's going to make everything they have to do after this a lot more efficient. That or the mirror.
Yeah, I think real quick, we got Thieves and Meyer as our pendants. I hate seeing pendant thieves because you don't know if you should go and beat this dungeon.
Yeah, that definitely presents a tough call, and the potential for our most likely our first significant divergence, or even call it a gamble, if you will. A lot of players don't like to skip thieves. A lot of players assume that their opponent will not skip thieves, even if it's a pendant.
I mean, it's a little easier to call if you had that mirror because you could just check the first 4. So we'll have to see if either of our runners decide to go in there at some point. Because it is one of the dungeons they complete. Real quick, zer0rush just picked up his lantern in Hype Cave, so no more dark rooms for him.
And that puts Eastern Palace all officially back into the logic, even though all they got out of it was a map.
I mean, that fat fairy could be worth... And more importantly, with that lantern, it guarantees that Hera is completable.
That's a good point.
Chat, a lantern is only 1 out of 10 hype. What is this? It's a fire source. Right now, it's their only fire source.
I think if you're looking at it purely for the light cone, 1 out of 10 for these runners probably does make sense, but I think they value the fire source a lot more, and that's going to help zer0rush when he makes his first trip to Hera, assuming ACM doesn't find the fire rod en route.
All right, let's see. What do we have up here at Death Mountain? Nothing. Nothing on the left-hand side in Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, we did see another sequence break for ACM. He did a dark room rescue of the old man. That's nice, especially with the flute, to give you that extra starting location.
Yeah.
Get that free health refill and flute away.
It's the
really
best
nice
health refill you can start with. You really don't want to start at Sanctuary. It's such a long walk to get outside. It's a little better if you have boots, but honestly, Old Man is the best.
zer0rush making a dip in the pod, not going to be bow locked, has everything he needs to clear this dungeon, including the lamp, so he can logically clear it. And ECM giving us our look at Paradox Cave.
So big key on the left-hand side, that means bow absolutely required to even progress into this dungeon. So unfortunately, with the lack of mirror, he's not going to be able to get a great setup for doing this dungeon. He'll do the right-hand side, he can use the hammer to hop on down, so thankfully having hammer is better than nothing. And we're taking a look at Paradox Cave on ACM side. A lot of money and a mushroom. He was already at Zora.
Gets the boomerang to make menuing a little bit easier.
It's only use. So I suspect ACM is going to head on over to Hera, just to see if he can even beat it. We still have Spiral Cave up here at Death Mountain. I don't think we'll see Spike Cave yet because we have no safeties, but who knows?
Yeah, they only have the B in that bottle, so they don't even have enough. They don't even have a red potion that they can just push through it.
It's certainly not within logic yet. So just to recap, in this beginning 6 chests for zer0rush, 4 of them, at the minimum, have a small key. So zer0rush picked up 2 small keys out of the 3, and therefore he has an idea, but, you know, there's still maybe 1 item in the first 3. It looks like he's going to check those out first. ACM just picked up the big key in Hera, so that means he can beat it. He might not be able to get all the items in here, depending on what's in the basement, but...
Absolutely. At most, he'll be leaving 1 item behind.
Right.
But that will give him his second crystal and, more importantly, the second red crystal.
I mean, something ACM could do, for example, since he's doing this route, he could decide to do Hype Cave and follow it up with a trip to the Fat Fairy and then walk on over to Pod when he's done there. You just sort of throw all those things together. It's a little slow, but since you have Flute, you can start the, you can warp the 5 and then take the portal there, but something to think about. Oh, that's the map and compass. They have a small key. There is an item in the basement for ACM. It was the hypest of hypes in Hype Cave.
Yeah, it was the lamp.
When do you find lamp there? I mean, that's exciting. Okay, we're getting a bomb jump. zer0rush can do this. He has an extra small key. He has the big key. Might as well do it this way. And that way, without mirror, this is nice because you can just walk in a circle and then end up heading towards Helmasaur when you're done.
So finds the cape.
Cape unlocks Spike Cave for us, actually, at this point. And, of course, Bumper Cave once they decided to go take a look at it. But we just have the best item in the game, single arrow for zer0rush. Nice.
So zer0rush just has these last items over here on the right-hand side, and then he'll be able to head on to Helmasaur.
Oh, my.
Wow, both fire sources now.
All right. So, yeah, okay, no, that fire rod was not actually behind a dark room, so something to think about.
Yeah, that's gonna
fire rod.
That's gonna be nice for zer0rush. When he eventually reaches Hera, he'll be able to decide whether he wants to do the basement for that one item. Still may not decide to do it because it's a lot of time for one item, but at least he'll have the option. ACM's gonna find the lamp on his way to Pod. Hopefully, that will give him an easier turtle dark room.
So unfortunately, they're going here. Well, zer0rush is about to fight Helmasaur. No silvers, just fighter swords. So we're gonna have to see what he decides to do. You can use hammer strats, but like you mentioned earlier, the hammer hitbox sort of stinks. So we'll see what zer0rush decides to do. ACM's going to take a look at the Spiral Cave right now.
How many hearts do you typically have in NMG Helmasaur?
I think this is about right. You get 3 hearts in the Light World dungeons, and then you can have 1 more if you decide to get the Sanctuary heart. So 7 is actually fair, but you also have Master Sword. You can use arrows. Arrows, I think, does the same damage as a Master Sword shot, so it would be 8 arrows, but zer0rush is already done with 13, so he's cutting it a little close. Bug net for ACM in Spiral Cave.
Well, I definitely think some peace of mind for finishing that location out, especially because it's a save and quit spot.
Yeah,
is worth the time.
You don't want that sitting in your head like, I wonder if there was anything here this whole time. Ooh, Lucky Fairy for zer0rush. Looks like ACM's going to head on over to Hype Cave. And I do want to say, let's keep an eye on zer0rush, just to see how he tackles Helmasaur after he breaks his mask.
Yeah, we know what's in Hype Cave. But this is going to be an interesting fight from zer0rush. Hopefully we'll see those hammer strats, but he does have more than enough arrows to play it safe.
No safety, though. You saw just hugging Helmasaur, 2 hearts of damage.
Yeah, he's going crazy, not using the sword to extend the hammer hitbox. Just
oh, there it is. Yeah, he's extending it here. Careful, careful. Wow. Like, just use arrows, man. These dodges, though.
That is amazing.
Oh my gosh, that was wonderfully done.
Clutch play from zer0rush. I think when he used the hammers, he was just 1 hammer hit away. But yes, that was an impressive fight. That was a dangerous fight. So
we'll see where zer0rush decides to go next. I mean, he has Fire Rod, so he might opt to head on over towards Skullwoods. It is a crystal. Do some Village of Outcasts while he's over there. Or maybe he's going to go up to Death Mountain. ACM's taking a look at his map, and then we're going to see what Fat Fairy is. This is one of the earliest Pyramid Fairies that I've seen in a race.
Yeah, it's definitely good that zer0rush had the skill to pull out that fight, because getting back to Helmasaur is one of the longest treks back to any of the bosses in the game.
Alright, looks like we're getting a Village of Outcasts. So maybe some Skullwoods right away. Fat Fairy, big 20s.
Just like the back of Escape. All big 20s.
I don't know how many big 20s are actually in the game, but I feel like we've seen a lot of them.
What was on the pyramid?
What was in the big
What
20s?
What was on the pyramid?
Oh, I didn't see it. ACM checked it earlier, and I actually missed it, but I don't think it was anything important because he didn't pick it up.
So interesting. Rather than catfish, rather than pod, one of those locations that there's no great time to do it. Do you think he's gonna? Do you think this implies that we're gonna see a save and quit or a walk back down the pod?
Oh no, you need to. I think it's a lot faster to save and quit at this point, and flute to 5.
That makes a lot of sense.
Even if he gets boots, I think. Ideally, wait, what did we just say? A mirror?
Mirror.
I was gonna say ideally
Woods.
ACM picks up the mirror here, Catfish, but no, zer0rush decided to pick it up instead over at Skull Woods. All right, so real quick, let's talk what items are required to beat the game. We still need mitts. That's always required. We need to see the cane to get into Turtle Rock, and we need Ice Rod to complete Turtle Rock. That might be it. And we just got our mirror, so they can totally do Swamp now.
Absolutely. They have everything they need to full clear. Well, zer0rush has everything he needs to full clear Swamp Palace. Finishing up Skullwoods as we speak. I think it's just mitts, the Ice Rod, and the Cane of Samaria for our no mode. ACM will, of course, still need to pick up the Fire Rod. And
we need a
mirror.
sword. That should be mentioned. We only have Fire Sword right now.
Absolutely. We'll definitely need at least one more sword upgrade, but the odds are usually good that with everything they have left to clear, they'll probably pick one up.
So there's 2 items over here at Skullwood. zer0rush is checking these other chests because he only got 1 item, which was that mirror. Ideally, he'll find it and not have to backtrack to the big chest, but hey, you know, Randomizer will do whatever it does. ACM's gonna head in. He will do a full clear of pod. I imagine he'll do a full clear. Unfortunately, without the mirror, though, it's gonna be slow. Well, a little slower, not too bad.
It's definitely inconvenient, but it's the same thing that zer0rush had to do, so it's going to be a net time for both players when it comes to pod.
I think zer0rush was trying to farm for some magic there. Just sort of got trolled. Trolled himself, I should say. Now with Fighter Sword, having a bunch of shots with the Fire Rod is actually a nice thing to have, since Fire Rod's doing Master Sword damage. My recommendation for anyone who happens to do Fighter Sword, Mothula, don't do spins. I mean, spins are nice because it goes faster, but it's very hard to set it up with the moving conveyor belt. Do the first one, that's pretty much free, but the rest, just be patient. Do Fighter Sword slash, just keep them in the corner, ideally the lower right-hand corner, maybe the lower left-hand corner. Oh, careful, zer0rush there. Do regular B strats, but not much.
Well,
try to hammer if you can. That's a good idea too, because it does tempered.
The B makes positioning really difficult. You can see how it just knocks Mothula around the map with 1 heart. Very easy.
Oh my gosh! 1 spike.
One anything.
One anything. Just gotta be patient. Watch the spikes, wait for your setup, and then go for it.
He just needs 1 or 2.
There it is! Oh my gosh!
Oh, wow.
zer0rush with the clutch bosses today. And a shovel was his reward.
Well, that's his second Skullwoods item, so at least doesn't have to go hunting for it. That was actually pretty surprising from zer0rush. Headed into that fight with 3 Fire Rod shots and 3 hards. Only ended up using 1 of the Fire Rod shots. I don't know whether he was expecting to die and was trying to conserve magic for a second attempt, or was maybe saving them for his last hits, but whatever's thinking, he pulled it off.
So ACM is about halfway through pod, just just so we point out what he's up to. Of course, he has to get the stuff in the back. We didn't get anything of worth, did we, here?
No, pod was pretty much just the crystal. zer0rush, I like that. Using the mirror to save avoiding having to backtrack through Skull Woods. Saves him a little bit of time getting down here at the Village of Outcasts.
Although he's missing out taking a look at the bumper cave, since if you leave on the right-hand side, you can take a look at it. It's still awkward, and it's a lot of walking. But it is the location that he can currently reach, and it looks like he's actually going to go check it right now, actually. Let's see if ACM looks like he is going to bomb jump. It's just all about finding which pixels. You know which pixel you need to stand on to place the bomb, and then where you stand in relation to the bomb that you place. So that's why the pause buffering just lets you set that up and not have like time ticking quickly.
Just a 5-hour upgrade on Bumper Cave. I don't know if it was faster to take the portal, given that he wanted to head up here. Gonna see a graveyard list check as well. Really no other good time to route that in. We haven't seen the catfish area from zer0rush, so heading right to do catfish or walking back to Kakariko, and neither's a great option.
He's getting this, he's getting this graveyard ledge out of the way. It's as you mentioned earlier, catfish is just an awkward position pretty much regardless of what you do. So it's like, when is a good time to get this out of the way?
Yeah, I essentially see there's basically three common times. People will route it in after they complete the pyramid. They'll route it in if they have the mirror and they want to do Zora area as well, or they'll do it right where zer0rush here. You finish up graveyard ledge, then you just keep going right.
Well, he might not. He might be heading back towards town. Although I guess he could have fluted and said, I don't know which is faster, actually. Oh, there he goes, going right.
He is going right.
Might as well get it out of the way now.
That'll let him mirror and then flute right back to 3, and he'll be right back in Village of Outcasts much more efficiently than walking back. So it's a good route.
Yeah, Swamp is open. Of course, for zer0rush, he has Hera. For ACM, he basically just needs to collect that mirror over at Skull Woods. So we have Thieves, we have Swamp. Swamp is a crystal, though. And they currently don't have a way to get in the desert, so that's not an option.
Well, ACM doesn't have the ability to get into Swamp, and having already done Hype Cave, I think that the northern the northern Village of Outcasts, northern Dark World, would probably be his best bet. So he'll most likely be picking up the mirror after pod.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not going to head towards Swamp yet.
Yeah, all you can do down there is the Stumpy and the digging game.
Now, we haven't seen Mushroom turned in yet. There's a chance ACM might be waiting to do the minor glitch to use Mushroom as a powder to check Magic back, but you can't do that until you get Cane.
Yeah, that's always a gamble, because the Mushroom, of course, could be the Cane of Samaria. Yeah. and you're going to be waiting a long time to find it.
That's right. It's such a quick check when you have Flute. Something that you might see some runners do is that they'll do a save and quit. They'll use Flute, or whatever, check out Mushroom, and then if it's nothing good, just do a reset. So that way you still have the Mushroom. That is an option, but it's time consuming. We're just turning it in.
That save and quit strategy has definitely become a lot more common in this standard mode tournament. It's something that you never really saw in the Fall Open. It became very popular during Key Sanity in order to allow runners to check a chest without losing their key if there wasn't a good item there. With the Flute, this is a great time to do just that.
So ACM just completed his 3rd dungeon, so he has 3 crystals. We're actually tied up with our runners right now in terms of crystals. Of course, zer0rush has that mirror, which will be very useful. It looks like he's doing Death Mountain right now. ACM, of course, is going to the Village of Outcasts, and hopefully he decides to go into Skull Woods to get him that mirror.
And it looks like he is headed up that way. zer0rush is not going to make any progression on Death Mountain beyond what ACM did, with the exception of potentially the Hera basement item, since he has the Fire Source, and Spike Cave, since he has the Cave. Those are the only two things that ACM wasn't able to do on his first trip.
Although that's going to be awkward to route both Spike Cave and Spiral Cave in. So we'll have to see what zer0rush decides to do and how he decides to handle this sort of situation.
Well, he's got a little bit of an advantage here because he can use the mirror to climb up here. He's only going down Spiral Cave once. Then he can climb back up and head over to Spike Cave, so it might be a little bit easier than it was for ACM. ACM would have had to go all the way around again or to get back to Spike Cave. But that said, it's still just a lot of work for one item. And ACM picked up his mirror. That's all the value he's going to find in Skull Woods, other than the crystal itself. And there's no reason why he's not going to go ahead and clear that. So after that, we are going to basically be in sync at that point.
Yep.
Where will our runners head next?
Both of these dungeons are actually pretty quick. The only difference is that zer0rush has to check the right-hand side of Death Mountain still, whereas ACM could just continue into Village of Outcasts when he's done here. I'm really curious if there's actually worth in the basement, though, of Hera, because if there is, it's going to be a long time before ACM backtracks up here.
Well, unless it's something like the mitts that bottlenecks them. If it's something like the Ice Rod, then absolutely, that can be a massive troll item.
Speaking of trolls, the Gibdos just will not let ACM pull the statue.
So, assuming that either zer0rush doesn't check Spike Cave or the basement, and or those locations don't have significant progression, where do you think is the most logical place to go next? Pendant Thieves or Crystal Swamp?
People are too reluctant to go in Swamp. Come on, that's gotta be the worth. It's gonna be sitting on the left-hand side. It's gonna make you work for it. Although, for trolls, I do like the idea of Pendant Thieves. It just feels like that's the easy choice, and the harder choice is go to Swamp. So I'm gonna hope that the progression is in Swamp, because too many people put it off for so long.
I like Swamp. Getting a crystal is always good, but wow, you really got excited about that. You were passionate about going to Swamp.
From an item density perspective, Swamp has 6 items versus Thieves 4.
Yeah,
Swamp is a crystal, so it gets you towards completing the game. I think there's a lot of merits towards Swamp, so I want to see someone make the Swamp play.
It's your mission in life to get that stigma of Swamp Palace and get rid of it.
Dude, there's so many times I'll pick Ice. Like, let's go to Ice. We can do Ice now, and it doesn't pay off. And Swamp, full clear Swamp doesn't pay off. But you know what? I'm still going to stick by what I said. zer0rush is heading down into the basement now. So let's see if there was something good there. Because this is something ACM missed. He did not have a fire source at the time.
So you're setting trends now. Chat's all like, let's go to Swamp. We never see that normally.
So keep in mind, our runners cannot go into Ice, Mire, or Turtle Rock without mitts. So until we find the mitts, those dungeons are off our radar.
Well, I'm kind of hoping that we don't see major progression here in the Hera basement. I like to see a closer race, and if it's here, then it's probably not going to be a super close race.
It depends on what it is. If it's mitts, ACM will eventually run out of things to do, and he'll have to come back here sooner than later.
If it's mitts, yeah. We're going to find out right now.
Trying to watch both of them. ACM down to 1 heart.
50 rupees.
No progression for zer0rush. Come on, ACM.
ACM
Careful,
out of
you
magic, 1 heart left.
No hammer strat. Maybe hammer strat. Oh, B strats. Now, regular B, I think, only does fighter sword damage. No, nice one
amazing.
for ACM, too.
Both runners.
Mothula,
Wow.
what is up? Both of our runners going down to 1 hit left on Mothula.
The skill of the runners is truly amazing, but given how little time it would have taken to pick up that blue mail and what we're seeing here, I don't know. I think that 50% damage reduction could have made those fights a lot easier for him.
That's true. It's just sitting there over at the race game. ACM actually did. It sort of like went through. Mothula went through him at one point, but because he held out his sword for a poke, he was actually hitting Mothula at the time, which allowed him to not get hit. I think that's what happened. It was sort of hard to see from our restream perspective. I believe that's what happened, and that's pretty cool.
Is that the same, essentially what happens when the B is hitting Mothula as well? The Mothula's iframes allow him to
sort
clip
of.
through Link?
I've gotten a situation where the B can knock into, like, it can knock Mothula into you. I believe it's because he was holding out his sword for a poke. Oh, that's a good point. Someone in chat points out ACM did not see the race game. There's a chance he decides to pick it up. Now, he is sitting at like 9 hearts, so maybe he skips it. Who knows? And we have 2 fetch quest items here. We have a shovel, we have a mushroom. We don't know if those lead to anything.
ACM also doing Graveyard Ledge check. ACM has done Catfish already, so we're not going to see him continue on. Either walk back or flute back, most likely, at this point.
Alright, so we're about tied up now. Let's see where our runners decide to go. We are getting a mushroom check from zer0rush. And torching the witch on the way.
That's not good for business. You can't torch the vendor. We're gonna see a green ruby now.
Piece of heart. So safety potion for zer0rush. ACM picks up the heart, putting him at 10 heart containers. Well, 10 heart.
Yeah, he gets the safety potion, but he doesn't kiss the vendor for the free health.
That's true.
So we saw Zora, so this will be just the hobo check, and then Zero will be done all of the water areas. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. And it looks like ACM is going towards Swamp. Here we go, chat. Is this the play?
This is the place. Swamp is now the trend. I mean, it wasn't 10 minutes ago, but it's the trend now.
I'm just waiting for there to be absolutely nothing there, and for you to say, I told you so, when they leave, and it turns out that Thieves was the actual, like, progression location.
Well, you must be talking to chat when you say that, because I'm never gonna say I told you so.
Oh, are you on board for the Swamp play? Is this the dream? Because zer0rush is also making his way there.
Okay, so, taking a little bit of personal liberty here and injecting, my personal opinion, I do really like the Swamp play. It's a very easy dungeon to complete, and I like getting all of those items. I tend to find that the time it takes to clear it, being an easy dungeon, will probably give me extra heart containers, or maybe a mail upgrade.
Maybe a sword. They really need the sword.
Yeah, those are things that I can take advantage of before I go into a more difficult dungeon like Turtle Rock or Ice Palace. So yeah, I like Swamp.
Now, as we mentioned, there's 6 items here, and something you can do if you're concerned about how long it takes, it's actually really nice if you're able to skip the left-hand side, because that's the time-consuming part. Now, ACM just picked up a compass, so that means there's at least one item related to the left-hand side. So if they want to full clear it, they're going to have to do left.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what they decide with if you're going to commit to a full clear, and we know that there's at least one item there at this point. It's a little faster just to do the left side immediately. If you're okay with maybe leaving 1 or 2 items behind, though, then you go straight back and hope that there's only one item that you leave behind.
I mean, in terms of what they need, though, they need Ice Rod, they need Cane, they don't know about the medallion situation. Boots would be really nice. They need a sword. So, given how many items they need, I suspect we're going to see left-hand side, regardless. But if someone's ever feeling behind, you might get a situation where you'll see them skip it, just like gamble it. That is nothing.
Well, I think working on your 5th crystal at 50 minutes, you probably feel
That's
that
true.
you can spare 2 minutes there to, just to be complete. Not the time that you're going to want to take a gamble, most likely.
It's so funny. We have not seen Village of Outcast yet. There's 3 items over there, and there's also Thieves for 4 more items. We haven't seen Shovel Game. We haven't seen Old Stumpy. We haven't seen South of the Grove. ACM is making the call to do the back half first. We'll have to see if he decides to do left-hand side when he's done here.
Yeah, zer0rush about to let us know where he's going to head. Picking up that first key, that's standard either way, as is checking the vanilla compass location down here. So Jet, if they pick, it doesn't really matter what they pick up in here. I think both of these runners are going to head to Ice Palace next, and also do a full clear there as well. They're just
they need mitts.
Oh, they do need mitts. Oh man,
So that is not an option just
I
yet.
got shot down by Jet.
Although we have gotten a bunch of items here, so we haven't seen the map. There might only be 1 item on the left-hand side, and maybe even the big key at this point.
Yeah, but the big key would lead to an item, so you kind of can count that as an item.
Well, it could also lead to the map. We don't know yet. We just don't know the item situation. Now, something you can do here, there's the menu, as people have been talking in chat. You can use the menu. This is what ACM's doing. Switch on over to hammer. Sometimes you can grab 2 puffs and then do a hammer. It really depends on where you're standing and where the boss is at the time.
Yeah, hitting the puffs from below is extra difficult. They move away from you a little faster, and you're dealing with the least optimized hammer hitbox. So it should go a little better now that he's on the side.
Now, another option you can take for killing Argus, depending on how your menuing is, I believe they're about the same, but if you're fast at menuing, that is. But if you're not comfortable menuing, one of the things you can do is you can use Fire Sword. You have to do spins, but the idea is that you hold out your sword, grab 2 puffs if you can. Ideally, grab 2 puffs.
1 silver arrow is all it takes.
Oh, actually, zer0rush is going to demonstrate for me. Nice. Sort of. It's not working out. I find it easier to do up and down for the sword spins than left and right.
I think the menu. I mean, I think sword spins are probably faster if you're comfortable with them. The menuing, it also depends on what items you have. Fortunately, ACM had a nice layout of items, so he was able to easily do the menu.
ACM is gambling. He's skipping left-hand side. He's going for, it looks like Old Stumpy in South of the Grove. Careful, zer0rush, down to half a heart. What is with these bosses here? He has silver, so as long as he doesn't hug Argus, he's fine. Nicely done.
So will zer0rush head back in and check the left side swamp? We know that it's just 1 item at this point.
We get? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5. There's only 1
On
miss
the
for
mitts.
ACM
Wow.
from Shovel fetch quest that they got ages ago. Oh, that might work out really well. Now, they still can't beat Mire or Turtle Rock. They can't even enter Turtle Rock at this point, but it unlocks a bunch of locations. More importantly, Ice. zer0rush is also skipping that item on the left-hand side. I don't know where he's going. He might be doing Fat Fairy.
Well, we'll see ACM finish out the southern area at least, the Key 45 and digging game checks, but I wouldn't be surprised after that if he just says, I'm going to jump into the Ice Palace.
Wow, both of our runners just making like that same sort of gamble. This is fairly close. ACM is, I would say, at this point, it depends on when zer0rush actually gets on over to that the shovel spot. But right now, we're looking at a couple-minute lead for ACM. Ether, which could be required, for all we know.
Yeah, without the mitts, we've had no opportunity to see what the Turtle Rock Medallion is yet. So having the mirror and the mitts now, it gives ACM a very easy way to complete these Village of Outcast overworld locations. The frog, the hammer pegs, and then the 3 items in the Village of Outcasts. Maybe he'll dip into Thieves Town and show us the first 4 items. Probably not a full clear though.
I mean, he has a crystal dungeon he can full clear. Well, zer0rush looks like, oh man, are we gonna see a Thieves play from
I think we're
zer0rush?
seeing some Village of Outcasts sync at least.
I mean, keep in mind how many items are still required. So this is, in no means, like this could turn out really well for zer0rush. Is what I was trying to say. If he finds another required item in Thieves.
So ACM still has his mushroom, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he has no cane, so
Cane.
he can't do the glitch yet. It's funny, both of our runners in the same spot, but ACM currently has those mitts. It goes a long way.
Gets his hammer out. What does that tell you?
I don't actually know why he pulled out the hammer. I suspect we're gonna see him mirror and flute down to the to Gary to open up his lunchbox.
That's a very efficient way to turn that in. You just put your mirror at 3, flute, and then flute back to 3, and then you only lose a few seconds. So we are seeing at least the initial items here in Thieves Town. Big key in the first chest. We can see up to 3 items in these initial 4 chests.
Well, we just got powder over at the bomb hut. Oh, ACM is actually opening it. What? He's going... Oh, he might do a first 4 check. Interesting. These guys... Well, ACM avoiding Ice Palace for whatever reason. So powder is our last fetch quest item, actually. Shovel already turned out really well.
They've both had 2 boss fights where they've barely survived. So, Fighter Sword Ice Palace, no half magic. That's not the most appealing idea.
zer0rush leaving. So we got I missed. What was the first item? Did we get 2 items or 3?
I got the heart piece, the big key. I don't know what the second one was. Another heart piece. So at least 2 items. And he doesn't have a small key, so 3 items. That makes a lot of sense. You get 3 items at the Thieves Town just from those first 4 spots. You probably come back later.
Yeah, you're investing a lot of time to get that last item. And when it's a pendant dungeon, like, why bother? Looks like zer0rush is going to check the powder for us right away. ACM is fluting away to turn his purple chest.
Yeah, unfortunately, zer0rush can't do the other things without the mitts, but at least the powder's one item that he's going to be able to route in here.
Oh my god!
Wow!
Oh, that's important.
Mitz locked the cane.
Now they have to make decisions because you can beat Meyer if you can enter it, which it depends on the medallion. It depends on if they need Quake. They can enter Turtle Rock. We don't know where Ice Rod is.
Well, if you can enter and full clear Ice Palace, I know a lot of people like to save Ice Palace for Go mode, but if you can full clear it and pick up those 3 items, and that might be your Ice Rod, what's a good reason not to do it?
Because it's time consuming. But knowing me, you got to go to Ice. I mean, I was already right about Swamp, right?
Absolutely. I say let's do Ice.
So ACM is gonna say, okay, let's go do Ice. But something to keep in mind at this point, with Mirror and Flute and Mitz, ACM could have also opted to go over towards Meyer. Go take a look at the Shed, which is 2 quick items. Checkerboard Cave is an item. They haven't went to Desert yet, so you have Desert Ledge, you have a couple items in Desert, you also have Agina. It's a lot of things that you can check relatively quickly. Not necessarily the Desert check, but everything else.
He may even be able to go into Turtle Rock for all we know, depending on the medallion.
It's really just that Ice Rod. It's always the quest for the Ice Rod. And of course, baby boots are required, but chances are unlikely.
Yeah, you have to call Go mode on the assumption that you're not going to see a GT big key on the torch and then revoke it if it's there. So zer0rush here, 1 check away from getting his mitts.
Here we go. Although he still has to do purple chest. Who knows when you're going to route that one in? When you have this wonderful dungeon you can do in Ice Palace.
Well, if he goes to Ice Palace, he's not really losing any time. Both players, will be doing full clears.
Oh, here we go.
So this is great.
Right on ACM's heels, but keep in mind that cane is going to haunt him.
The lack of the cane is also going to affect his routing a little bit. He's going to have to do the bomb jump and backtrack up the stairs on Ice Palace in order to full clear it,
right?
Without having the cane. ACM could skip it if he wants to. It doesn't look like he's going to, but could save a little bit of time skipping that if he's doing a full clear.
And sometimes it's just easier just to do the bomb jump if you know how. Just not worry about the logic of whether you're going to find the big key or not. Because honestly, ACM, from his perspective, is just 1 item away from Go mode. So if he gets Ice Rod right away, he could just do the rest of the dungeon and not have to worry about, finding the big key.
Unfortunately, not picking up an early small key. Gonna have to take the long way around to get to the Hammerlock section on the right side. It looked like he was setting up for a bomb jump just for fun there for a minute.
Well, might as well. Another bomb jump. You got 16 bombs. There's so many places open to our runners right now that we just haven't seen.
After
Dark World Death Mountain, maybe they can go into Turtle Rock. Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's the 6 easy items they can check on Dark Death Mountain on the way up to Turtle Rock. And of course the Ice Rod can be in Turtle Rock itself. So yeah, there's a lot of options. There's a bottle rather, 1 item.
Yeah, so there's the 2 items for ACM of 3 in this dungeon. No sword still. Oh my gosh. This is gonna be our runner's 6 crystal. So gambling Turtle Rock might be the thing to do. There's some mail for ACM, so he can't complain anymore. Not that he would, but...
Well, I don't think ACM ever even saw the race game item.
No.
Only zer0rush did. I mean, it's surprising that he didn't even check it when he was over there doing the digging game.
Oh, interesting. ACM might be skipping. So I think the big key is in the iced tea chest. So he's going to skip that and just gamble that the item's on the boss. We got... let me think. Yeah, there's 2 small keys in this dungeon. And I think you need them to beat the boss. So I'm pretty sure there's a small key in the big chest. Think.
I'll admit,
I've
never mastered Ice Palace key logic.
I think Cold Stare can drop a key. We'll see in a second.
Oh yeah, Cold Stare can drop a key.
So, yeah, disregard what I said. We got a 50-50 chance here for ACM. We'll see if zer0rush decides to make the same call.
Even with that blue mail, having to use a potion there just takes so much damage from Cold Stare.
That's okay. It also lets you kill faster. Oh, wait, no, because we have 3 items. Because we got the blue mail and we got 2 items on the right. Oh, that's 3. Never mind.
And,
that's not a gamble at all.
Cold Stare had a key.
Yeah. Well, I just realized they pick up 3 items, so it doesn't matter.
All right. Yep. Got the small key. Everything makes sense once again.
I'm sure our runners are keeping track of the items. We saw zer0rush. He's just rushing right to the boss. Hey, ACM never did Hobo? I thought he did.
It's funny that he's checking Hobo, but he's skipped the race game.
That's true. So yeah, that's the 6th crystal for ACM. zer0rush is hot on his heels. However, gotta find that cane.
Yeah, the purple chest is not one of those items that you really give a high priority to.
Yeah, so something in chat that people are pointing out, if Cold Stare drops a small key, it basically expected you to use Cane to access him. So that's really important knowledge for zer0rush about where Cane can be.
That's a good point, but that's also a fairly obscure and set of knowledge that I think a lot of people probably don't really have a good grasp on.
Yeah, the Ice Palace logic is goofy, just like Pod can be a little goofy. It's just one of those things you sort of pick up over time.
Well, we are seeing our Meyer check. The 3 quick items. Didn't see what the ether.
No ether.
All
Got
right.
it.
So he could do a full Meyer clear if he wants to.
Do we have the dream of Pedestal Ice Rod that they have to blindfold because they don't have the book?
zer0rush also going to Meyer area. Nice.
It's all about that item density. This is a very quick check for all these items. The question is, does zer0rush decide to go into desert or not?
I love doing the checkerboard cave check following by Agena. It's such an efficient way to route that in.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Wait,
Go mode.
really? It was sitting there the whole time.
So it's yeah. So he still needs a sword, but that's pretty close to go mode.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there's a
A
sword!
sword! Oh my gosh! Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
That is awful.
Oh my gosh. What if that's the sword they need? There's a bunch. Okay, so we have the back half of these. There's like 1 or 2 items there because I wasn't keeping track. zer0rush is doing desert, so we'll get to see what's in there. But neither of our runners have gone into Mire.
Thieves has 1 item left.
Okay, so there's a chance one of them could be a sword. ACM won't find one in Turtle Rock or Ganis Tower. Now, there's a good chance we should see a sword somewhere along the way. I say this, but who knows?
Why do you say ACM can't find a sword in Turtle Rock or Ganon's Tower?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he totally could, but there's a small chance he doesn't.
Roger.
And if that's the case, that sword's going to become real handy for zer0rush. But it actually looks like Desert is locked behind Boots because of where the small key is.
So that sword is absolutely a great find, but unfortunately, like we've discussed before, with the cane being in the purple chest, that's not a high probability check. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many other places he's gonna go. He'll go Dark Death Mountain. He'll go, other. It's not. You don't do purple chest.
So zer0rush is opting go to Mire. Keep in mind, he has no idea where Ice Rod and Cane are. That's what he's looking for. He's 2 items away from his go mode. I suspect he'll do a Gina and Checkerboard after this, so he'll have his Ice Rod, but that doesn't help him. Luckily, he can't beat this dungeon, so he's not going to lose that much time, but he is, of course, losing time with ACM being in go mode.
Right. Hopefully, both of the items are available to zer0rush, and there isn't an item out in Vitreous. Otherwise, this is going to be a even less productive run.
So we just confirmed he can do Turtle Rock. So really, ACM just needs a sword, and he's going to check chests on the way throughout GT, and we'll just to see how long it takes before he finally picks up something. He has silvers for Ganon, so it's not even going to be that bad.
So the best thing that can happen for zer0rush is very quickly finding both items and then mirroring out of the dungeon.
I think it'd be interesting if he gets another sword here, honestly.
That would actually be a really significant play, because that would narrow down ACM's options to only 1 remaining unknown sword, which would really increase the probability that he would have to do a post-Aga 2 sword hunt.
I mean, with it being on a desert ledge, it's not too bad, as long as he opts to go there sooner or later and just scope it out. But yeah, who knows?
Could get lucky, but it's time that zer0rush might make up.
There's 1 item for zer0rush. Yeah, every minute that zer0rush doesn't do purple chest, the purple chest line, is the more that he gets behind. The sword is nice, and the sword might help him.
Well, ACM's got the big key and 2 small keys. What does that tell us about Turtle Rock keys?
I don't know. Nothing. I don't think it really tells, because you're guaranteed to find all the small keys here. A shield. So, yeah, those are both items for zer0rush. He's leaving, hopefully going to get his Ice Rod soon.
I thought you'd have some great insight, like the big chest can't have a key now.
No, I don't think Turtle Rock key logic is anything special. How about Quake?
There's our last medallion. Definitely not something he's going to need, though. So this is good for zer0rush. He's going to, as long as he remembers to check a Gina, that will give him his Ice Rod. And it looks like he is doing that check, so it's just going to be the Cane at this point.
So from his perspective, he can't enter Turtle Rock. He does have Dark Death Mountain, so he could opt to go up there looking for Cane. And of course, he has the whole blacksmith line, which will ultimately lead to his Cane.
He also has some other troll locations, though. He has 1 item in Thieves Town. Right. He has the left side swamp item that he missed.
Yep.
So there can be some very time-consuming locations for him to check. And purple chest isn't really any better than the other ones.
I think we're seeing a Dark World Death Mountain play from zer0rush here. Yep. Maybe end up at Spike Cave at the end.
That would be a nice route. This will let him check what the Turtle Rock medallion is. He'll be able to verify that he does have it, so he'll at least know that he has that go mode item. We'll see the Super Bunny and Hookshot Keep items, which ACM is possible will never check those. That's another place that could have potential last sword.
No, ACM just checked them on the way out.
Oh, I didn't see him. All right, my apologies, both the Jet and Chat there.
Yeah, from an item density perspective, I think this is the most dense locations Zero Rush could currently access. Unfortunately, it's not going to pan out for him unless there's another sword sitting over at Spike Cave. Yeah, he can't enter Turtle Rock, so this isn't that big of a deal. He's blocked behind. That Cane is actually good that Cane is his go mode and not Ice Rod, because if it's Ice Rod, he could have gambled Turtle Rock. Without Cane, you cannot enter Turtle Rock, so it's not a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal that he's missing the item. As I said before, every minute without that Cane, ACM's pulling ahead, but that sword is such a big deal right now. Oh no, fall. Cane was in the purple chest. And it just happened that ACM was able to route all of that stuff together. I think ACM only has one usage left of the Cane, so that's why you saw him using alternate shots. There it is. So as long as he doesn't fall, he's okay. And we are going to see a Spike Cave check from Zero Rush.
Yeah, ACM might pick up this big magic pot here. He skips the magic pot. Wow. There's a full magic pot and 2 hearts on the right-hand side there.
Yeah, but there's going to be another magic potion. It's just that he can't use the, what's it called? The cape to do laser bridge when it comes to that.
That was what I was thinking, is that without boots, the laser skip was a little bit more difficult. I mean, we can see he's doing it just fine.
Blue
Picks up
Cane.
another Cane.
So I think by logic, either a shield was required, because we did see a shield, and both of our runners opted not to pick it up. Or the cape. I mean, they have the cape, so cape would have gotten them through here. By the logic. Ice Rod Cave. Have we seen this?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
An hour ago.
I don't think we saw this location. I'm just waiting for Zero Rush to pull out another sword when he checks these locations.
They did the Eastern play really early, and I think they skipped some of these one-offs. So anybody who had trouble with Fighter Sword Trinex in the weekly today, watch ACM, see how it's done.
Right. You can use that hammer as a tempered sword swing. 3 hits followed by 2. ACM missed one of his hits, so that's why he's opting to do it this way.
We're gonna get some ice on the ground, though. That's gonna make hammer much more dangerous. Some good news for Zero Rush, heading back into the Village of Outcasts. If it's a Thieves' Town check, that's going to slow him down a little bit, but if this is the start of the Blacksmith's chain, he'll be in go mode in about a minute or 2.
And he's in true go mode. He has the knowledge for Turtle Rock. He has a sword. So he might actually skip some chests in Turtle Rock. Alright, I think it's time, actually.
I do believe it is, Jet.
Alright, Chad, you know what time it is. You're already getting your guesses in. It's time to pick your guess for the Ganon's Tower Big Key. We're watching from ACM's perspective which chest number he picks up the big key in. So get your guesses in. If you happen to be a supporter of any of the speed gaming channels, a subscriber, or you've just donated in the past, then you have a chance to be on the leaderboard as well.
Do you have a pick, Jet?
I want to see 3. 3, the typical torch location. But I'm going to say number 8 is my real guess.
I want to see 1. I want to make it so that there's
no
easy
make them
way,
struggle.
No easy way to route in a sword check.
I like your thinking there.
Yeah, if you want that sword, you're gonna have to spend the time to go find it.
Zero Rush super close to turning in that purple chest.
He's
gonna flute over now.
Yeah,
Too.
here we go. True go mode incoming.
And he still has to do all the Turtle Rock though, so.
Oh, yes.
Number 2?
There we go. I'll take
the
that.
Struggle.
I'll take that.
He's doing the basement looking for a sword. Oh my gosh.
This is exactly what Zero Rush needs. ECM to spend time doing things that Zero Rush will not.
Wow, so congrats, Michael K. Looks like you were gonna be on our leaderboard. Did we do a save? There you go for the leaderboard stats. Wow, number 2. That was close. I had that trophy number 3 guess. Look at this. He has to use hammer on the Gibdos because of Fighter Sword. And he has no magic right now. What happened to all his magic?
Well, he got the refill leaving Turtle Rock, so...
Yeah, he used the Fire Rod shots to get... Okay.
Oh, yeah, to get down here, yeah.
Oh, he used it on the enemies too, that's why. Alright, Zero Rush heading right up to Turtle Rock. He's in true go mode. It's coming down to a sword at this point.
So,
my god.
No sword in the first 6 chests.
So now every minute spent for ACM looking for a sword is Zero Rush catching up.
Yeah, and ACM, he's only looking for 1 sword. As soon as he finds Master Sword, he's going to head up to the top. And Zero Rush already has that, so Zero Rush just needs to get that big key, and he's not going to open a single chest after that. Very, very opportune for that Zero Rush picked up that Master Sword.
So Zero Rush got his sword on the desert ledge. So I don't think it's going to be a hard check. It's just a question of, is ACM going to find a different sword somewhere here?
Oh, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Wait, what is this? Who turned that on?
Well, not me.
That's someone put up winner. Can you remove that, please? A winner for guessing number 2, I guess, for the big key. And finding the book. What if there's sword? We don't even know. What if there's a sword at PED? Or, swords at one of the tablets? Like, those are ones they can't even access.
Yeah, we don't even know where either of the 2 remaining swords are. So Zero Rush is also going to be able to skip a little bit in Turtle Rock. Not too much, but he'll skip Mimic Cave. That's something ACM didn't have to check. So 4 locations up here in the randomizer room. 3 more. One at Bob's chest, and then 3 more at the behind Ice Armos. That entire room.
He has 45 arrows, so it's not a problem here.
45 silver arrows.
Yeah, silver. That is important. Have magic. That's a nice prize for making your way over to the left-hand side here.
Where's that half magic been all this game? They've been struggling with magic.
Oh my gosh, we're down to just 4 chests downstairs, and then ACM's gonna have to head upstairs, hoping there's a key there, or not key. They're not looking for key anymore, they're looking for a sword. Well, ACM is. I'm hoping to see Zero Rush just, go mode Turtle Rock as best as you can. Oh, and we might see a big key chest, or big chest from ACM. Here he goes.
We are. You almost never see this in a tournament race, and that's a little piece of heart. Wow, that would have been a great location for a sword. So no boots here, so ACM has to do the bomb jump, and we very rarely get to see this as well. Pulls it off, nice. There's a lot of margin of error on that particular one.
Yeah, it's just 1 tile gap.
All right, got 4 locations in GT left. So if he doesn't find a sword, Do you think he probably finishes GT and then
Oh, yeah,
then does the sword
absolutely.
hunt? He
You
doesn't
don't
do the sword
leave.
first. Yeah.
zer0rush is checking a few chests.
Blue rupee, red rupee, and it's small key. On to tile room.
See, the problem for zer0rush, checking that chest, though, means he has to look elsewhere for a small key. I think he really is hoping for tempered.
Yeah, ACM opting not to spend the time on the tile room. If there's a sword there, he doesn't want it.
Yeah, that's that particular chest is not worth it. Oh, that's a neat spin strat. Like arrow into spin. I cannot even definitively say that ACM is ahead currently, just because of what's happening with the sword. Because if zer0rush just goes in right afterwards, and he could just go upstairs, like he doesn't have to check any chests.
Absolutely. If there's no sword here, it's an unknown period of time for ACM to do a search. It could be 20 seconds if it goes right to Meyer, or it could be 20 minutes. It's impossible to tell who's ahead until somebody walks in to get into the pyramid.
Man, I'm honestly looking forward to seeing a a Master Sword Ganon. That's always fun to watch.
When you get runners at this caliber, it absolutely is fun to watch. Maybe you'll learn how to do the spin off the trident.
I've been working on it. It has its quirks. Let's just say that.
You'll get it.
Thankfully, honestly, these spikes in the gauntlet here that ACM is at can help you kill the enemies with Fighter Sword, because you can knock them into the spikes. Of course, you still have to deal with conveyor belts and BMOS and ice.
So there are still 4 chests up top that might have a sword.
And we're down to that. 4 chests. Unfortunately, I wasn't keeping a track of the small keys. There's 4 small keys in chests here. So I don't know if we've gotten like 3 of them or what.
The GT small keys?
Yeah. I haven't been keeping count of them.
It could also be a map and compass. I mean, we don't know. I didn't count those either. That bridge
that's
is
how
not...
you do that.
With the hook shot, yeah.
Shot. Genius.
How many times have you fallen off that bridge?
Oh, please. I just try to walk past them and I'm like, no.
So, zer0rush heading into his Trinex fight. Gonna finish this off and then head directly over to GT, pick up that key, and be running upstairs. Oh, wow. It's so close.
I mean, they're essentially... zer0rush doesn't know it, but he's the top half of Ganon's tower away from ACM. And there's Boots!
Boots! Oh my god! Boots!
That unlocks more locations for ACM to check if he doesn't get a sword here.
ACM has 2 chests left in this dungeon. Compass!
Nice, first round kill for zer0rush there. Master Sword, of course, much better than Fighter.
Definitely makes an improvement. Avoiding all the ice on the floor just makes everything so much safer. Not going to have to use the potion. So, no doubt, ACM taking a fall there.
Cold Arm strikes again.
So I was going to say, there's no doubt ACM absolutely will be opening that last chest. So,
I mean, Hammer is his best bet for killing Moldorm here, but these dash strats can also be sort of safe.
Looks like he's doing a mix of Hammer and dash strats.
All right, is this the sword, or is ACM gonna have to go hunting after this? No!
50 rupees! Wow.
So unless there was a sword in tile room, nothing! No sword! Where are these other swords right now?
So right there, I think the lead switches over to zer0rush.
Not quite. It really depends on how long it takes. ACM has the bonk locations he might go to. It's really a question of when does he find himself over at the Mire area. There's a bunch. He didn't go into Mire. So he might opt to do it sooner than later, for all we know.
Oh, he's having a nice agate too. zer0rush is going to be very happy when he opens these two chests.
Oh, look, there's number one. Number one for zer0rush.
Oh, so he's done.
He's going upstairs. Equip the bow and go. ACM, where do you go next? Where is your first check for a sword? So now the race is on. ACM is looking for a sword. zer0rush is trying to beat Ganon's tower.
I think he's going to start with the boot spots.
Close. It is close.
The two boot spots are really, really quick to check.
Yeah, but he's in an awkward position to do it. Alright, where are we going, ACM? Oh, he's going to 3! He's going to do the boots locations! No? Where's he going?
So, that's not a good place to leave his portal. He's going to have to, it's going to be long. How's he get back there? Oh, he's doing
Oh, yeah, he doesn't have an easy way. Ideally, you'd want to fall down and do the courtyard.
Yeah, courtyard would be easy. He's going to have to, go from 4, I guess.
Oh, he never did. Oh, that's right. He might go check a look at the race game now this year and the library. Oh, no, he's saving and quitting. Oh, he might do the bond locations first. No, he's going to Link's house. Okay. Oh, there's desert. There it is.
But we're doing dark desert first.
Yeah, but it's quick. Unless he goes in the mire, he's okay.
Yeah. All right, mirror. We got the mirror out.
There it is. Wait a minute. I want that.
Do I want that? Nope. Yes.
Alright, ACM officially in go mode. zer0rush still has about half of the dungeon left, so we're like a couple Ganon falls here because of Master Sword.
Yeah, for this time that portal's gone though.
Right.
He went into 8. He went into 6.
Yeah, he has to actually go to Link's house and walk around.
Man, this is crazy close.
I'm feeling like the clear of Turtle Rock for zer0rush, the full clear, might have set, it might have been that difference. This is how close we're talking here. If he was able to skip all of Laser Bridge, that might have been better. We are super close here. Look at the blue cane strats. Nice.
Yeah, ACM's about a minute and a half ahead. 2 minutes, tops.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2 minutes at this point. zer0rush still has to fight Moldorm 2. And then, of course, Aghanim 2. Who had some okay patterns, I guess.
So this is 12 spins for each of the first 2 phases. 1 for each of the hits in phase 3, and then just silvers for phase 4.
Oh, that's a nice position. Get him in the corner there. You can spin against the wall.
Yeah, same thing at the bottom. He's ready in the phase 2. Nice. Yeah, each of those spins counts as 2 of your required 12.
Yeah. Masterful work of the hook shot there. Oh, zer0rush is missing a key?
What? Oh, the helmet's...
Oh, no, he
I'll
didn't
get
pull
it
that.
right here. I'll
Open
get
that
it
chest too, please. Get the. Yes.
here. Wow.
Yes. He went back and lucked out. Red potion for ACM. I was gonna say, I knew he had a key downstairs.
Help at this point, unless he hovers.
All right, this should be good as long as ACM doesn't fall here.
Nice Moldorm, no falls.
Our players did get the sword in the same location, so there are 2 more swords sitting somewhere in the game.
Gets the torch glitch with the fire rod. Very nice.
It could be left-hand side swamp. It could be the one item we missed in Thieves. It could be the desert items or Sahashala pendant. There's a fall! Oh my gosh!
Oh my god, a fall!
Oh my god, this is going to be so close.
I can't believe that.
This is so close now.
I can't believe that. I can't believe it.
Half magic might make the difference. Look at this. Look at this! zer0rush just finished Acmlm 2. ACM's going up there. He's going to be slightly ahead.
They're going to be in sync.
Oh my gosh! Okay, ACM falls. zer0rush is about 25 seconds behind at this point.
Not even that. Oh my god.
And he has no more safety potions too. zer0rush might have his red potion still. I'm not sure.
He only needs lamp magic in phase 4. That's it. He's got enough magic as long as he doesn't use his cape.
Well, it's more for safety in terms of hearts. Oh my gosh! Look at this.
We've seen both of these runners pull out some amazingly close fights.
These bosses, though, this race has been crazy. Oh, ACM's down to 3 hearts. He has to be careful. I think a hug from Ganon might kill him. The bats are...
He could take 1 hit from a bat.
I think so, yeah.
He used his red potion last fight, so I don't think he has left.
zer0rush is down to 2.5 hearts. Oh no!
And no fairy. No fairy. I don't think he has a fairy.
Oh my gosh, what is going on?
Oh my god.
This is insane. This is insane right now.
I've never seen this before. And ACM gets the double off the trident.
We're seeing some pause buffering from zer0rush to avoid the bats. Incredible. Ooh, risky there in the
dangerous,
corner.
super close positioning. Gets
Okay,
one more spin.
Cape, safety.
Into
Nice.
phase 3.
Alright, ACM. I'm like, it's so hard. We have to keep an eye on both of them.
I'm watching both. I got this.
Oh, he's down to 2 hearts.
ACM takes another bad hit. Anything will kill him at this point. And zer0rush is into phase 4. Stuns him, and this could be a double here. Gets the double, misses the torch glitch, but still has enough magic.
He has plenty of magic. Oh, this is it. This is it.
One more hit.
Oh my gosh!
Oh wow! Don't walk off the edge, and zer0rush gets this.
Oh man! GG's zer0rush. He's our winner for this match. Incredible finish there.
And we just saw the not done pause from ACM side. That was an amazing fight.
Master Sword Ganon is no joke. Like, honestly, if any of you are ever considering like practicing this, it's good to know your safeties. Like, look at your magic situation. Like, can you use the cape at all? Do you have access to the cape? What kind of potions do you have? Depending on if you're doing a low percent or not, you might have access to these things. So it's always good to know your safeties. And honestly, the best piece of advice I can give for Master Sword Ganon is take it slow. Don't try to rush getting a lot of hits in each phase. If you can only get 3 hits, 3 spins for this fire bat phase, that's fine. Because it's better than taking a whole bunch of damage and having to like play it safe later on.
And I'll add to that, there are certain positions that are optimal and some that are decidedly less so. That one was really bad. If he gets you a bad position, just wait it out and wait for a better one.
Okay, let's pull in zer0rush here. GG, man.
GG,
what
zer0rush.
A race.
GG's. Thank you. That was kind of a stupid seed, but it worked out well.
So, I mean, well done on those boss fights. Multiple times you were down to like 1 hit would kill you, and just pulling it off. Like the cool, level-headed play that you had there.
Yeah, my boss fights weren't super great this seed, but honestly, fighter sword practice isn't something I've done in a long time. It doesn't come up much, but
right.
This seed I had to do almost every single boss with fighter sword. The only one that really scared me was Mothula. That was kind of...
Yeah, that was clutch. I mean, a lot of your fights were clutch here. So you guys in the beginning were sort of going back and forth. You sort of diverged a little bit, but ACM pulled ahead when he found Kane. Sorry, not Kane. Actually, yeah, he found Kane and Mitz like almost together. He decided to walk from Swamp. You guys both did Swamp at the same time. Honestly, it was pretty funny because you both skipped left-hand side Swamp. You both only did the first half of Thieves. So it just happened to be that ACM did Fat Fairy earlier, and you so that's when you did Fat Fairy, and he decided to go towards the Grove, got his mitts, continued to do the blacksmith chain, and end up getting his cane. And then when he decided to take a look at Meyer real quick, he ended up with Ice Rod. So he was in go mode, I would say, a lot of minutes before you. However, you found a sword. ACM full cleared Ganon's tower looking for a sword.
Wow, yeah, that sucks. I mean, I was feeling pretty bad about going into Meyer and finding nothing, but with the early big key in Ganon's tower and the fact that I accidentally forced myself to clear Laser Bridge, I figured that that sword was probably in a really good spot, and obviously Ice Rod was over there too.
Well,
but,
I did make a comment on what happened with Turtle Rock because it looked like it put you behind, and at that point, it looked like ACM had to win, but unfortunately he took a fall to Ganon, which allowed you to catch up, and then he took a death at Ganon when you were both fighting at the same time. So that's actually like what ended up happening. I highly recommend you go take a look at the VOD afterwards. But
yeah, definitely will. Yeah, he's telling me about it in the speed racing chat. That's
okay. Yeah,
I've lost plenty of races to Master Sword Ganon shenanigans.
I have no idea where those other swords are. So what did you think of the seed? It gave you a ton of items, progression items early on, and sort of just trolled you with that glove.
Yeah, well, the not finding mitts is fine, because the non-mitts locations, there's not that many of them compared to mitt locations. So I'm kind of glad I didn't find that a lot sooner, because that may have, like, when you have early mitts, your routing either becomes full clear, like efficient style routing, or you're taking a massive amount of gambles. So finding that rate was perfectly fine. Kind of ended up full clearing everything anyway, but that was the way it went, I guess. But other than that, yeah, I mean, speed-wise, it was okay considering Boots were in Ganon's tower, but
you had to go back for that too. That was actually pretty funny. Forgetting the small key. And we knew Boots were there the whole time, so you just sort of knocking the key next to the chest. I'm like, I'll just check this. Oh, Boots. That was a pretty good check for you there.
Yeah, they didn't really end up being... I guess they helped me with the bumper room
Right.
I wasn't going to hover Molarm at that point. Just it's not really worth it to potentially miss Tempered Sword, saving 6 seconds hovering Molarm. So
Oh, can you hover? You can pull up the hover.
yeah, I can hover.
Nice.
So it's a little disappointed to find Hookshot immediately and no boots, but that's fine.
Oh, you were ready to hover most of the seed, huh?
Yeah. No. Honestly, I know ACM doesn't really hover, so any advantage, I'll take it for sure. But it ended up not being that kind of seed, so that's good. We had just a nice, clean fight. Just Ganon got the better of him this time, I guess.
So, yeah, GG's on your win. That gives you 5-0.
Yes.
So, you're guaranteed to move forward to the bracket. So, congrats to that.
Thank you.
So Jet pretty much had that one, that going there. So I'll just finish off and add in my GGs and on the 5-0 and guaranteed progression to the next bracket. It was a really, really fun race to watch. It was a pleasure to commentate, and thank you so much, zer0rush, for giving all of us the opportunity to enjoy the show.
Yeah, thanks for commentating. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully, my next race I'll be less rusty with the fighter sword.
Well, you got
Bring it
plenty
home
of
a little
practice
bit.
this one.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Just seeing your stats now, 6 bosses were killed with the fighter sword, and then you ended up getting that master sword to finish off, Trinex and Acmlm. So yeah, fighter sword, the seed. Who knows where those other swords are? I can just tell you for certain that it's not in GT, unless it's Tile Room. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. ACM, of course, just finished with a time of 1:45:31. He doesn't usually voice chat, as far as I know, but you might see him in chat if that's the case. So say hi to him, and I do want to give a quick shout out to our runners. They did an amazing job with this fighter sword seed. Please give them a follow if you haven't done so already. This is tough work. And these are both great runners, so definitely take a look. ACM is at 4-1, but he has 2 more matches ahead to guarantee that bracket placement. So we still got a couple more weeks of this, so no worries here. Definitely keep an eye on both of our runners, and thank you to Carissa, our tracker, and our restreaming team. They put this together so you guys can watch this.
So I will, of course, add my thanks to both zer0rush and Acmlm. There is another 4-0 race, amazingly, on the Speed Gaming 2 channel in 10 minutes. So I recommend everybody take a look at that. There are 6 Speed Gaming networks and 4 ALTTP randomizer doing all of these races. Tomorrow is the last day of the week 5 Swiss round. After that, we'll have a 2-week period for the 6th round. So plenty of races to see. My thanks to the Speed Gaming staff, to Carissa for tracking, and of course to Jet for co-commentating. It's been a pleasure.
Yep, thank you, Tiru, for joining me on this.
That's all from me. Good night.
All right, have a good one all. Keep watching the Link to the Past random any tourneys on Speed Gaming. Have a good one all.